Hello and welcome to the Southern Institute of Technology's academic program, the Certificate in Environmental Management. Soon we will be heading out to Half Moon Bay and Stewart Island, where we will be taking a closer look at the creatures that lie below. Also, we find out how a little bit of fat is helping an Invercargill businessman to get around. But for now, let's find out how tourism operators are delivering on the clean green message that New Zealand is known for. And can you please tell me about the Sustainable Tourism Scheme?
Okay, well it's a government initiated program, and so the Ministry for the Environment and the Ministry of Tourism got together and came up with the scheme, and it's like a pilot scheme, so we're quite lucky to get it. We applied for it, and Southland and Fiordland were one of the pilot regions, and there's 6 of them in New Zealand. So we started it in the end of 2005 and came up with our own charter, so we had our own sort of vision for Southland. And then we've now got 32 businesses on board, and we basically come up with action plans towards sustainability for tourism businesses.
What we do is we do a lot of assessment of businesses, so come and talk to businesses and actually have a look through the business, do an audit, and then give them a report back, letting them know areas that they're already doing well in, which is always good encouragement for them. And give them ideas of what they can do to be more sustainable. Then with the Sustainable Tourism Project, there is a website, it's called the Regional Toolkit, and there's quite a lot of resources on there that they can tap into. In Southland there's a sustainability guideline for businesses now. It's an information booklet for sort of small to medium businesses with a whole lot of tips on how they can be more sustainable.
What was the need for this sort of project to be introduced to New Zealand?
Well, basically New Zealand promotes itself as 100% pure, and that's really where it came from. The New Zealand Tourism Strategy said we need to be looking at environmental sustainability. So that's where it was initiated from, and more you can see the importance of it as time goes by. As they've updated the tourism strategy, they have looked at environmental sustainability as more of a big component of that. The importance of it is growing all the time. Global warming, visitors looking at their carbon footprint, food miles, things like, because we've got to travel a long way to get to New Zealand, so we need to make sure that we're green when they get here, so that we are recycling and that we're up with places like Europe, and their expectations are met basically with the 100% pure theme, which is really sort of focused on our environment. So that's what it's all about.
How can a business become more sustainable?
Well, in terms of environmental sustainability, some of the key things we look at is the energy use. So energy is including petrol, diesel, LPG, fuel that they're using for any vehicles, that sort of thing. We look at waste, what's in their waste stream, what they could reduce, reuse or recycle. We look at water, what they're using in terms of what they're taking from the environment and then what they're discharging into the environment. And so are there any ways that you can reduce how much water they're using, or send it off in different directions, recycle it, recover it. We look at pollution, so what is the business discharging into the air, into the surface water, into the groundwater or onto the land. Quite often with a lot of businesses that comes down to cleaning products, what's going down the drain, that sort of thing. And with this project we also look at the community, so whether they're making any contributions to the local community, how they're dealing with the social aspect of their business, how they deal with staff, work-life balance, those sorts of aspects.
Yes, for this season we've introduced separating out cans and glass. Traditionally it's all gone in the one container, so we built these separate bins and we're replicating that up on the wharf, so we'll have recycling on the wharf. So this will be on both ferries. This is the FOVO, and the Southern Express will have a similar system.
Okay.
And then we will accumulate it and take it by the trailer load into the recycling depot in Invercargill.
Oh, great. What are the benefits for the Stewart Island experience to become involved with the Sustainable Tourism South?
I think there are several. One obviously is the environment we operate in. Stewart Island's a pretty special place, being our newest national park, and we're intimately involved in the major transport provider taking people over here. So we're very conscious of that. Obviously our parent company Real Journeys has a very strong sort of conservation and sustainability ethic. A lot of things make really good commercial sense, just the pure economics of trying to save fuel on vessels, for example. And I guess, you know, a lot of things are things that we naturally are doing anyway, and obviously there's a fit with the project.
Have you found that you've had to supply a lot of guidance, or are the people already quite well informed about sustainability?
It really varies, depends on the business. Some want to get into this kind of project because they are already doing a lot in terms of sustainability, and they want that to be recognised. And maybe they want to also see if there's any areas that they're missing out on. And then other businesses are doing it, they don't really know what they should be doing, but they know that it's become a really important area for their business. So they're getting involved, just that they don't have too much of an idea. So there's a real spectrum out there at the moment, and it depends, I think, a lot on the owners, the managers and the staff in the business as to whether the business has already started along the track of sustainability or not.
Do you approach businesses that you think need help, or do they come to you?
Well, they really come to me. I have approached a few businesses, but generally we have a really broad spectrum. So those that are really, really green and just wanted to make sure that they're on the right track because they don't actually have an environmental accreditation, they want someone to come and have a look. Or those that haven't really thought about it up till now, but they can see it's going to be a really important sort of global issue, and that their visitors are asking for things like recycling and that sort of thing, and so they can see that's where it's going, so they want to get in now and make sure that they're on the right track.
What factors of the business have you really had to focus on?
Our audit will probably indicate the areas that we should be looking at now. You know, one of the main things we've been working on is fuel efficiency for the vessels, because we're a huge consumer of diesel, and anything we can do obviously makes economic sense, as well as the environmental benefits. It's also an excellent sort of team building exercise, getting everyone sort of focused and thinking about that aspect of our business.
Yep. And what is it like to be involved yourself and have your business involved?
Well, I think it's great. As I say, I think, you know, a lot of the things we're possibly doing already because they make common sense, and therefore it's not that hard or difficult to be part of the project. And obviously the benefits may well be that we get a bit of kudos for having that endorsement should we be successful and meeting all the criteria.
What are some of the benefits to businesses that are involved?
Different businesses seem to get different things out of the project. Some of them are quite focused on the money that they can save through energy savings, fuel costs, things like that. Others are sort of looking at what they can do in the community, staff participation and that sort of thing. That really the individual businesses, because they're quite varied from accommodation right through to activities, they all get really different things out of the project.
The benefits for us are to be benchmarked against other organisations who are possibly a step ahead of us in terms of joining the project, and and being satisfied ourselves that we are doing the very best we can to offer a product which a lot of our customers are looking for. You know, they're looking for that point of difference, and they're looking, particularly Europeans these days, are very conscious and sensitive to conservation and sustainability ethics and criteria. So if we're able to successfully complete the project, then it gives us reassurance and therefore our customers reassurance that we are doing the right thing.
Taking away the grease out of fish and chips, next Frank Thomas tells us about biofuel. Okay Frank, so what are we looking at here today?
Well, this is our biodiesel plant that I've made and sort of put together all from second-hand parts. Nothing's brand new. The only thing that's new is the hoses and a few of the ball valves and things.
And what is created in this area?
This is the main biodiesel reaction. This is the reaction vessel standing behind you. We have our mixer over there to your left. Where we make the methoxide.
Yep.
Methoxide, of course, is what drops out of the oil to make the biodiesel.
Okay. And can you tell me about the process and what exactly you create?
Okay, we're using second-hand cooking oil from cooking vats, fish and chip shops, things like that. We're just heating it and we're adding methoxide to it, which creates the biodiesel, and it's making a very nice product at this stage.
And are you the sole creator?
No, I actually unloaded the information off the internet, and I suppose I'm a bit of an all-rounder, so I can do all bits and pieces. So then I thought, I'll have a wee go at this, and ended up nailing it. Yeah.
Yep. How much trial and error was involved?
A lot. Yeah. This is my second plant. My first plant I made, I was only doing 120 litres per batch. Now I'm up to 500 litres.
Wow.
So it's working very, very well.
What vehicles is the product used in?
We have our own service vehicles that we have servicing our clients, and we have Isuzu trucks, Toyota vans. They're all running on it, no problem at all.
And can you take me through the process of where it goes from place to place?
Well, we start with our raw oil over here in the 20-litre containers. We get it in from our suppliers like that. We also get it in 200-litre drums from our suppliers as well. We have forklift access here, so we can use that. We then put the oil into a holding tank behind us over there, and that's just where we filter it, and as we're pouring it in, and then we heat that, so of course we can move it with our pump, because if it goes cold, it just doesn't move, it just goes glug. So we just heat that to about 30 degrees just to keep it warm, and then from there we put it into our processor, which is behind you again, and then we heat it again in the processor, and that's where it goes up to about 80 degrees. After it's been in the processor, we take a sample, and then we come over to our scales and things, and we've got to find out the pH of our oil. And on our oil, we've got to find out the pH, because we've got to add caustic soda and methanol to it, and that tells us how much we have to add to it to make the transaction to drop out the glycerine. The glycerine, you probably can't see there, but it gets pumped over to the left there and into drums, and that is actually sold to a processor in Christchurch.
Okay.
And I have had a dairy farmer come and he took 20 litres of glycerine to try on his dairy farm. So people are getting to know about all these products and different things, yeah.
How economical is the product?
Very. It's costing me 33 cents a litre to make. It was 44 cents, but I've changed suppliers on a few things and I've got it back down to 33 cents a litre. In today's market, that is a huge, huge saving.
Is there much smell involved?
No, not in the general process there isn't. Just when it's running in the vehicles, you get a little bit of fish and chip smell, I suppose they call it, but it seems to be quite acceptable.
And how often do you make the product? Are you in here every day? Or?
No. I probably make 500 litres to 1,000 litres a week, and our holding tanks are above our heads, and we seem to be able to get through that with about 2 weeks. When it gets down a bit, I just get in my overalls and go. And it only takes, it's a sort of process where you do an hour and then come back and do a bit more.
And how do you transfer the product from up here to your vehicles? Is it like a petrol pump?
Yes, it is, exactly. Yes, it is. And it all goes through filters, which we'll show you over here. It goes through filters and then through a gauge, so we know how many litres is going into the vehicles. And it's all monitored which vehicle it goes into and how much, things like that. So I know exactly how much it's costing me and how much I'm saving, things like that.
And why did you decide to set the lab up in here?
Mainly because I'm running out of room where I am at 21 Clyde Street. This was a spare corner, so this just had to be it, and everything's just fitted around it.
Yep.
So, yeah, but it seems to work fine for what we do.
You mentioned that everything in here was second hand. How did you go about acquiring it all?
Oh, well, I'm probably a bit of an old hoarder. I just go around haunts. Like, that's actually an old brewery tank from a tavern, and this is just another second-hand tank that I picked up from a second-hand supply. The motor was second-hand. That pump there's second-hand. As I said, the only thing I've really bought is a few fittings, hoses, and filters. We just change filters about every 2 months.
And what kind of dangers are involved in creating this product?
Okay, it is very dangerous because we're playing with two very nasty chemicals. One is caustic soda and the other is methanol. You combine the two together to make methoxide, and it's very, very, very caustic. I always wear long sleeve gloves, eye protection, and a plastic overall the disposable ones that we have here, so I always wear those. You are dealing with caustic soda and it is very, very caustic. So I advise anybody that is playing with it to, wear safety glasses and the gloves and things like that.
Yep. Do you have to be a specialist of some kind? Can anyone just make it at home?
Oh yes, I unloaded all my information off the internet, and there's a lot of backyard of biodiesels, they call them, over in America that are doing it.
Are there any major companies doing this sort of project but on a larger scale?
Oh yes, there's a place in Christchurch called Biodiesel Canterbury, or Canterbury Biodiesel is one or the other. A lot of our oil is actually going out of Invercargill now and going to that place because they've seen the potential in the environment, saving the environment instead of all these drums of fat going down the drain into wastewaters and things like that. So there is huge, huge potential in biodiesel.
It all sounds very positive. Has there been any negative effects? How's the fuel reflecting on your vehicles?
Fine. We haven't had any problems at all, apart from filters. I just like to keep them running very good because my sales reps, we cover right up from Dunedin, right up to Wanaka, Cromwell, Otago and Te Anau, and when I can't afford to have vehicles breaking down, so we keep right on the maintenance of the diesels in the vehicles, and that's really all we have to do.
So how many vehicles are you running the product in?
We've got 5.
5.
Yeah.
That's fantastic, and they're fully running on the product all the time?
During summer, 100% biodiesel, but during winter, because we've had one of our coldest winters, it just seems to go, we don't run it 100% anymore, we just mix it at about 50-50.
Why is that? Is in colder temperatures it's not working?
Yeah, in colder temperatures it doesn't seem to start that well. So we just bring it down and we mix it up and it seems to be going as good as gold.
Yep. So at the moment, how long have you been creating this product for?
I've been over this well over a year now.
Over a year.
Yes, since I've been playing around with it and done different things with it and been running vehicles.
Yep, and what can you see for the future?
It's going to be a big industry. People are right into this environment now and recycling and the way that fuel prices are. The oil is actually going to be hard to get. I can see that coming. So I don't know what's going to happen.
Fantastic. Right. Thank you so much for talking
to
us
today. No problem at all.
Next, we head out on the Underwater Explorer to check out what lives under the sea. Arana, it looks like a fantastic day to go out on the Underwater Explorer. What are my chances of joining you?
Oh, pretty high there, yeah.
Pretty high?
Just a typical day here at Stewart Island. Beautiful sunshine going on. Makes the visibility good in the sub, so yeah, it'd be wicked.
Fantastic. Should we jump on board and go for a look?
We should.
find on the Underwater Explorer today?
As I tell the passengers in that, it's the beauty of open water. You pretty much never know. We get all sorts of surprises here and there. Pretty much a lot of blue cod, big seaweed and kelp forests.
Yeah.
And all the different sorts of fish, shellfish as well.
And do you have quite a positive response from everyone on board?
Yeah, it's good. It's good to take children and a lot of people that have never been snorkeling or scuba diving, because you don't know really how much of a different world it is sort of underneath.
Yeah, it really is quite amazing to look at. And in terms of the environment, is it all okay for us to be down here?
I think it is. We use pretty good fuel. Try not to get wrapped up in anything. We don't remove anything that we see.
So it's just an undercover kind of secret spy, really, isn't it?
Yeah, we're looking. Usually it's us looking at the fish in the fish bowl. It's sort of a little floating fish bowl, and they're looking in at us.
Yeah.
Well, we're just cruising along.
How is this any different to diving?
I don't know. The difference between snorkeling and diving is either you're looking down at or you're looking right at. So we're sitting 1.5 meters under the seawater, so sort of getting a look, a glimpse, but you're not getting right in there to actually have a good steer. You're still seeing what's under there.
Can we get closer to the fish because we're not a snorkeler or a diver?
It depends on them, really, quite frankly. Like, there's this big boat coming along and they're all staring at me. I'm going to sort of take off now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But some of them have come right up to the window today and sort of gone away and come back and gone away and come back. Do they not mind us being here?
Yeah, no, some of them might be used to it. Every day at the same time, there they go. There goes those guys. And some of the fish, we actually move a lot of the, we krill and things like that. When we're cruising through the seaweed, that it feeds them. So they'll just follow along and sort of get everything that's getting moved around. As I said about the water temperature, it's not very warm. So yeah, it's quite good to be inside in the warmth. We run over the summer, like we've just started our summer season, 1st of October, so we've got 3 semi-subs a day, one at 11:30, 1:30 and 4:30. And over the summer we get quite some, the kids love to come down, like it was quite cool last week. They spotted dolphins in the bay, they knew there was dolphins there, so we got the whole school to come down and we took all the kids out. The dolphins sort of skimmed the bow there, so it was that's awesome. They all drew us pictures and said thank you for taking us on the submarine.
Oh, great. So the dolphins sort of hang around as well?
Very rarely. Like, that's some of the sorts of things that you have to, like for myself, working on it every day, you've actually got the chance to see them, because it doesn't happen very often. We've had octopus sort of come up to the window and spray his ink and then take off again. Seals will come and actually look right at you, like look you in the eye and do a couple of flips around the window and then sort of head off again. And dolphins and seahorses. So yeah, some days, very rarely.
Is it quite an educational trip as well?
Yeah. I like myself. I'm still learning. I'm not a diver, you see, so I'm just, that fish tastes good. That fish tastes better. Yeah. So yeah, it's all a learning curve. But yes, we used to have a girl, Hayley. She was awesome because she was a dive instructor, so she knew all the sponges and all the sea squirts and all those sorts of things.
How do you learn about that sort of thing?
Just a bit of study. We do a lot of multitasking here in Stewart Island Experience, so I'll go from the semi-sub and go to Ulva, do some nature guiding, then jump on the forklift and hoon around with my steel caps and my blue hat on, and then jump on the ferry, so it can be quite overwhelming. I've been doing it for over a year, and just a bit of study. Pick up some books and sort of learn. Some of the guys, the divers around here, a lot of divers, they'll teach us some stuff as well. Look after each other. The locals, yeah.
Wow, thanks so much for that. I'll let you get back to work.
Right, I'll go fly us up shortly. Yeah.
Thanks for watching the Certificate in Environmental Management. If you would like more information on this course, please call 0800 SIT to learn. That's it for the series. I hope you picked up some useful tips and enjoyed the show. See you later.